Good evening and welcome to another Crossroads episode. If you've got any questions, please put them in your right hand column. And yes, good evening. I hope everybody is well. We're supposed to be having Peter Piper on, so I'm just waiting for him. I don't know if we've got any confirmation that he's coming on yet, but hopefully we will be able to try to get him on. And yeah. Hello, Peter.
Hiya.
Oh yeah, how are you? All right.
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to talk about a few things really. But I last saw you in in Coronation Street, and you play Tom Ridley, and what came around about that role? Were you kind of like, were you auditioned for it, or what was it about? Tell us.
I originally went for a small part that got written out because the storyline was more important than an extraneous little comedy vignette.
Yeah.
And I was mortified because I thought, typical, they don't like me, me. And then the lady, Bridget, told me that they really like me. My manager told me that, they really like you, but that was just like a kiss off because I've lived in Los Angeles and people do that. And unfortunately, it's catching on more over here where people don't really tell you the truth or can't be bothered. You just like say, oh yeah, great, asshole. And they got in touch with us again to say, really sorry, we couldn't use that. Would you come in and read for Tom Ridley? And some auditions you do, a lot of actors, I mean, I'm a prostitute. I'll just do it in the hope of getting it, whether it resonates with me. But the writing was so good for Tom Ridley. I just looked at the sides and I went, I can do this. And I knew that if I was too fat, too bald, too skinny, too old, too young, that I would have done myself. I said to Phil, I said, I've done myself so much good, and you representing me as an ambassador, I've done you so much good here, Phil. And if I don't get it, I feel great. And they just contacted, they said, we'll let you know at the end of the week, but it was the very next day. Phil called me up, he said, you've got it.
Yeah, and you, and what a part it was, really, wasn't it? You played that part really well.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay, Steve?
Yes, I can, yeah.
You sound very, very blurred, as if the microphone is tucked down your shirt.
Is that better?
Oh, that's better? Completely different.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that. I'm just saying, when you were on...
No problem.
And when you got the part for Coronation Street, that was... You played that part really, really good.
Thank you.
So, what... Then, because how many episodes were you in it for? Was it 4 or 5 episodes, was it?
I was only in for 2. I was only in for a couple of episodes, so I don't know why I've not been used. I really don't know why, Steve. They don't like me. They don't like me. So it was a blast, and the most friendliest cast. I mean, just lovely people. It was a very creative, friendly cast, and I just had a really good feeling that I'd be back. But that feeling has not yet come to fruition.
Well, I hope they do have you back, because if they don't have you back in the next year or so, I'm going to do a campaign. Get Peter Piper back on Corey. All right.
Your microphone's tripped again.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So, I'm just saying, get Peter Piper back on Corey and make a campaign against it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I think there's a slight delay on this.
Yeah, there is a delay. And I'm so sorry about this.
It's okay.
Then the funniest thing then I saw was next minute you were in pantomime. You were in pantomime with Shane and everyone else. What was that like? And you played one particular time. You played Friar Tuck, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's just I love working with the boy. Many years ago, on a personal thing, I was in a very bad place, and Shane said to me, "Here's a key. Take it. There's the fridge. Use it. There's your bedroom. Help yourself." And he gave me sanctuary when I really needed it, and I really appreciate that. And on stage, being light entertainment, it's a very dangerous business, because there are certain egos involved with certain people that I won't mention. And it's a trust thing. And Shane is I think it's a mutual respect. He likes me. He'd never admit it. And I adore the lad. He makes me laugh. But then I make him laugh. And that's the chemistry that the audience would be privy to, because you have to be careful in pantomime. Otherwise, it becomes this barrage balloon, which is self-indulgent and doesn't go anywhere. But when we're on stage, we're pro enough to stick with the script. But then if he goes off piste, I'll follow. And it's dangerous. And the audience love it. And we've been told off for it, but you go with the flow, and he's very encourageable. He's very encourageable. So it was wonderful working with him.
Yeah. With the because he is very knowledgeable, and he's a really good actor. And the trouble is with you. Sorry about this. It's the he's very knowledgeable and everything. But with you, because really, you are a comedian, really, aren't you?
So was Shane. Not a lot of people know that. Shane, he started out, he's about 5 years younger than me. And we started out on the light entertainment circuit. We did before your time, lots of comedy shows together, or appeared on them separately. And then he saw me when I was living in LA, and I'd signed up with Lorimar, and he's looking up to me. But then by the time I get back to England, he's doing his own show, and continued on to the profile that he is today. And it couldn't happen to a better guy. I know it sounds a little bit sycophantic, but he's a bloody good guy. I've got a lot of time for him. And underneath all that bravado is this. You cut him, he bleeds. He's a good guy.
Yeah. The trouble is, it's because he's had his problems in the past and everything. I won't go there, but he's had his problems, and but he made him, he came big on EastEnders too. Everybody loved him on EastEnders. And
Huge, huge. I've been with him when girls have nearly fainted. They said they can't believe it, and he just rolled his eyes to me. He said, "It's Alfie Moon. It's not me. It's Alfie Moon." But he does have that charisma. Does Shane Ritchie himself? I say to him, I said, "I don't know how you manage to have women react the way they do, because I think you're ugly bugger." But he just laughs.
No, and the other thing was what I want to talk about is when you went caravanning. No, that was funny. That was really funny. What was that like to film with?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of the best bits. Unfortunately, a lot of the best bits ended up on the cutting room floor because we didn't have any creative input. But as I said before, to be paid, I mean, my agent who looks after Shane as well, he said, "They're not going to pay much." I said, "I don't care. I'll pay to be on it." And they paid me, I mean, a lot of money when it comes to people with real jobs. Because I call this business the Not the Proper Job Club. And we were getting paid to fool around, eat wonderful food. We went to this shooting range with up and overs, but they didn't show that. We went windsurfing. They didn't show that. We had cream teas, but they didn't show. We were arguing terrible over cream teas because what was on top, the jam or the cream. And it was great. And he ended up pushing me in the fish pot. And they never showed that either. So it was a lot of good stuff. But I knew that he's got a very sensitive stomach. And I knew that he could not stand the smell of fish. So I got the producers to supply a fresh fish. I gutted it. And then I got him to pull the guts out. And he was, so that was great because we just push each other, but in a friendly way. But the crack is fierce.
Yeah. What was the filming like? Because it was the filming at the caravan site. It must have been kind of like chaos because soon they saw you and Shane Ritchie. That was it, probably. Because the camera stopped and
Bless
you were hanging around the campsite.
They were, Shane's got the profile. It's not for me to say, do you know who I think I am? But Shane's got the profile, and the audience, they were great. They respected the fact that we were filming, and then when the boom, the sound, the Dougal, the big fluffy thing went down, and then everyone started to melt. People would just come in and chat, and but it was more often at night though when they've had a drink, because in vino veritas, in wine there is truth, and it's Dutch courage, and then they'd start coming up to you, and which is great because it was a lovely ego massage, and it's lovely for me to stand back because, as I say, he's the profile. I'm just like the sidekick.
No, I think you're a profile too. I've been looking forward to this all day, kind of like actually meeting you. I think you're a top bloke. I really do. You should be.
Thank you.
I think what you do is, Peter, you put yourself down too much, mate.
Well, I have been told that before. I remember a director saying the only person holding you back is yourself. So I think I'd prefer that margin rather than someone who thinks they're absolutely fantastic and can't understand why they've not got any work. So I prefer to be on this side of the fence rather than the other one. And it's just a matter of timing, synchronicity. It was Lenny Henry who said there's an awful lot of talent out there, but there's very little opportunity.
Yeah, but see, the trouble is, look what you got. You got, you're a comedian. You're a bloody good comedian. I've watched your stuff. I know, of really good actor. And you do really good stuff. It's not just about. Let's forget about Shane. You're on the spotlight now. You have done quite well. you know, Coronation, you know, when you were in Coronation
Thank you.
Street,
Oh, hey,
you know, that was,
thank you. It's all relevant.
it's not,
It's all relevant, Steve. It,
no, it's
it
not
is. It's all
relevant.
relevant. I mean, I'm doing really well.
I know that, but what I'm saying, Pete, is saying, I think you need to start kind of like saying to yourself that, you know, I'm doing well here, and you know, just don't put yourself down too much because you're a top bloke.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. When I was younger, I was. It begins with a T and ends with a T, and I'm far from that now. I was a show off and a big head, but life has a funny way of rubbing off the corners and making you less. You know, the armor dents, and it makes a person either bitter or can make a person a little bit more humility. And I'd like to think that I have a little bit more humility now, and less on the broadcast and a little bit more on the reception. We've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in that order.
Oh yeah, of course, I totally agree, and that's why I'm doing this. That's just why I do all these interviews and stuff, you know, because you know, I like to help people, you know, and I like to get people like you on, so it kind of like gives people inspiration and to do things and not to give up on life.
Yeah.
If people want to go into acting, then you know that's fine. But and I like to get people like you on to encourage people and everything. See? So that's what I do.
Yeah.
But we open up. Yeah.
Your microphone slipped down again.
Sorry,
And I look like this because I've auditioned for something, and if I tell you about it, it'll only put the kibosh on it. So I'm saying absolutely nothing. So that explains the Father Christmas beard, and I've lost a tooth, which helps actually. So I look like a street fighting gypsy, and I wished I was as hard as them, but it helps with the part.
Right, okay, yeah, you tell me later. You know, I won't say nothing. Trouble is with television, do you like the limelight?
Does the Pope like spirituality?
Yeah. If someone gave you someone rang you up today and gave you a part in a feature film, what would it be? What would you like to do? Action, love story, whatever. What would you like to do?
I'm too old for a love story. I'm totally aware of what I'm not. When I was younger, I'd be the when I was younger, gee whiz, I'd be the main interest. I'd be the love story. I'd be this. I'd be that. Me. Yeah. But at my age, I'm just grateful for work that comes along that resonates with me. I refuse some parts because I've got some dignity, and I won't say what those parts were, but I prefer to act and do quality stuff for nothing rather than crap stuff for money. Saying that, at least I've paid my mortgage off, so I can afford to say that, and I've got enough savings and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we need a reason to get up and give us our integrity, and it's the same as anyone else. So with this COVID that's kicked in, because the last time I worked in front of a live audience was last March, and a lot of people bemoan that, and they say, I bet it's terrible, but it set a reset button within me that I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to God and for my rude health, my great fitness and capability, and also my mental stability, which I lost it earlier on in the year, and I'm okay now, you know. So as my mum said, if it don't kill you, it only makes you stronger.
Of course it does. Well done. Of course it does. That's what I was going to say to you. Do you have a faith, Peter? Do you have a faith?
Yeah. When I've been to a couple of Alpha sessions, and they said, "Are you a believer?" And I said, "I want to be." He said, "Well, what would you say you are? Do you think you're Christian?" I said, "No, I'm a sinner who struggles with faith." And they've said, "Aren't we all?" So I've not yet made that leap of faith, but I know I just can't ignore it. I'm not one of these. And I say to him, the Alpha courses, it's brilliant, because I'll swear and I'll say that's bollocks. I don't believe that. And it's caused a lot of people to raise eyebrows. But then those aren't Christian people, because they're all pious. They're a bit too pious. But the groups that I've been with are brilliant. And I've learned a lot. And I didn't want to get ridiculed to be like tambourine banging Cliff Richard, or with the greatest respect to Cliff. But I just prefer to want to try to, as you get older, you want to find things out. And I so want to believe, because I'm scared of dying. But I've not yet crossed over. When they said it was on the last of the Alpha courses, and we went into church and they said, "We'll pray for you and we'd like to christen you." And they said, "How do you feel?" I said, "Same as before." They said, "Do you think you're born again?" I said, "No, I'm more Caesarean."
Look, I'm a Christian. I became a Christian over trying to commit suicide. I wanted to end my life
Been there.
on Tamar Bridge in Cornwall, and and it's kind of like I just wanted to end it, but then my belief in God now is so good, and that's why I'm trying to help a lot of people here. You know, the trouble is with the media.
It makes you feel good when you do.
Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
Sorry, Steve. You first.
No. You carry on.
If you do it for, if you do it for self-gratification by saying, "Look at me, I've given a cup of coffee to a homeless man," or "I've bought a sandwich for someone who needs it," it's for the wrong reason. The stuff that I do, I've been helping out at a homeless charity, and also the church cafe, and I was volunteering at the local church. And it wasn't to say, "Look how wonderful I am." It was for me. I was doing it for me, because I felt valued. I felt as though I was giving something back, because I'm in phenomenal good shape and great health, and I'm grateful. And it's a lottery who you're born into, and I was very lucky to be born into a loving family. And when I work with homeless people, I see people that, they have really lost out because they've had terrible parents, or they've fallen foul of certain peer pressure. But I look at my own life and I think I'm really lucky. So it makes me feel good. And you have a great crack with the homeless people, because I will never patronize anybody. It's just not my style. I prefer to have a good crack with them and swear and talk the language. What's the point in, being pious and all that shite? It's just, nah.
Look, listen to me. When
Not
you
my
come to Devon, Peter, I want to meet up, because I think you're a nice bloke, and we can have a beer and have a chat and come out.
Whereabouts are you in Devon?
I'm near Exeter.
Yeah, because I'm looking to relocate, and I'll be going down to South Devon to have a look at some properties. Weird, that, isn't
All
it?
right. Whereabouts is that?
Newton Abbot, South Hams.
All right. Yeah, Newton Abbot. Yeah, Newton Abbot is all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't afford
Southampton's
Weybridge. I
quite
can't
nice.
afford Weymouth, or I can't afford Bournemouth. But I've had my property valued up here,
All right.
and it's beautiful. It's all location, and I'm very fortunate. But my little girl, she's a big girl now. She's at university, and she's phenomenal. By Jove, I'm grateful to her, to God for her. Believe me, I never believed in miracles till I held one. I never believed in ghosts until I saw one, and I never believed in karma until it was repeated. So my little girl's up at Newcastle. Mum and dad have passed. My sister and I, she's got her own life, you know, and I'll always be here for her. But I'm living on past memories, and I need to play by the sea. I love diving, skiing, windsurfing, sailing, coast steering, free diving, anything in salt water. That's my bag, and I'm packing my wetsuit.
I live in Exmouth by the sea, and I tell you what, I love it.
Oh, I went down there, and I most probably visit there again because it's really nice place. You're very fortunate.
Please come down. Come down on your bike, and we'll meet up.
Okay.
Honestly, we will meet up. You know, and
okay,
you'll love it.
Well,
you'll love it.
Yeah, I think. Do you have my number now?
I've got your mobile number, haven't I? Yes, I have. Yeah, I've got your mobile number. All right.
Yeah.
So let me know when you're coming down, and we'll meet up. Peter, thanks very much for coming on for a chat. Next time, I would love you to come back on, and we talk about the time that you actually saw a ghost, didn't you, a long time ago?
Oh, I've seen a few. Mate. And I was told that I have a bright orange aura, but I don't want to see. No. I mean, Mum used to say it's only the living that'll hurt you. It's not the dead. But oh no, I absolutely. Can I say shit?
Can you imagine a ghost? Oh. Yeah, you can. Can you imagine it? Seeing a ghost of Shane Ritchie, 2 Shane Ritchies, and 2 of you. Oh my gosh. The UK will, it was going to, fits a laughter, wouldn't it? Anyway, Peter, thanks very much for coming on.
You're welcome, Steve. You're welcome. And you too, and best of luck with this StreamYard. Is it like, I don't know anything. You've not told me anything about StreamYard. This is your business, StreamYard.
Well, what we do is, it's not a business. What we do is, last July, I started doing it for people who had mental illness problems, for people who had mental health problems. And what happened was we went on there with different subjects. We talk about mental health, like depression. Then we had people on like for knife crime and all that lot. Then it went bigger because we've got a radio. We're on radio too at the moment as well. Right? So it went on the radio. Then it started from like around about, I don't know, about 80 people. Then it went up to around about 1,000. Then now we've got around about 26,000 people, and it's growing each time.
Wow.
And
that's great.
We live on.
That's fantastic.
And we're supported by donations. It's not a business. Every time someone gives a donation,
Pardon me, it was a bad choice of. Pardon me, it was a bad choice of words. Is it your pastime name then, StreamYard?
StreamYard, it's nothing to do with me. StreamYard is just a setup where people use for doing podcasts or shows.
So what's your
we pay for it.
What's your call?
Crossroads.
What's your yes?
Crossroads
I can see
podcast.
it. I just thought it. I thought it was something to do with the RAC in the top right-hand corner of my picture.
No, it's in the right hand corner there, and we're called Crossroads Podcast UK. We've got a radio site, and I will send you all the links and everything, and you can have a look on there. And we're just self-funded, mate.
That's a lovely thing that you're doing. One second. Just turning my oven on. That's what you got to do when you're Billy No Mates. I think that's a wonderful thing that you're doing. And and it does, because I was a full-blown nutter, and people say, "Oh, you can't say that," but no, I can say that because I was, and I know where you're coming from. It was a long time ago, and my mum was right, bless her. It has made me stronger. It has made me a lot stronger. And what people need when they're very, very badly depressed, suicidally so, is hope. Because if you don't have any hope, there's no point in carrying on. And I can say that because I was that soldier in that trench.
Yeah. But next time I'll have you on, and I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'll get. I'll clear the camera screen so there's not Vaseline on it, so you can see me clearer, and you get the microphone sorted.
I definitely will. All right. In the meantime, thank you very much for coming on, and you look after yourself until then.
And you too. You're doing a great job. Oh, I'm flattered. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.